Now, Caitlyn, Jenna and I, of course, swapped tales around the campfire. We even shared the odd shower for practical cockroach debugging reasons.
I'm sure. I'm glad you put the roach there.
Yeah, exactly. But she's here now, I'm delighted to say, live from Malibu in California. Caitlyn, we've been talking about this since we first arrived in the jungle, haven't we? At last, you're on Good Morning Britain. The world has conspired against us.
I know it's been tough to put together, but I just want you to know that you're the first interviewer that I've ever done where I've actually slept with and showered with.
Come on.
Yes, Kate, you and I, we've done it all. I think you know way too much about me. I just want to know if I'm the first guest you've ever slept with and showered with. But maybe you shouldn't answer that.
No. That's a great question, Caitlyn. Let's get the answer to that, Kate Garraway.
Let me think.
Kate, when this whole thing came down, I was actually in London.
Yeah.
When the quarantine started. And boy, this was a long time ago now. And snuck out. I had to leave 2 days early. Came back here to the U.S. Had no idea what we were going to be going through for all these months. And it's just been so difficult on so many people. This is honestly one of the first things I've done, since this whole thing started. And it's been tough on a lot of people.
Well, I remember because you were in London, because you were supposed to come on Good Morning Britain then, and then suddenly you sent me a message saying, I've got to go in case I get trapped here, basically. I've got to get back to the US. So
I was afraid they were going to close it down and I'd get stuck at your house.
Yeah.
You don't want that, Caitlyn. No. You don't trust me. Unless you've got a Hoover and you like tidying up, you do not want that.
I know.
You're a very good dishwasher, I know that. So you'd have been very handy in self-isolation and lockdown. We had a quick catch-up, didn't we, yesterday? And the first thing you said to me is, Kate, honey, you thought the jungle was hard, and little did we know what was about to come, because there was a lot. Obviously, we all talked about being isolated from our families when we were in there. We talked about being restricted on what we could do, the lack of communication, feelings of loneliness. But actually, the real-life challenges of the last few months have been so much tougher, haven't they?
They certainly have. I've talked to like James and Jacqueline and through this whole thing, and the jungle was sounding very good. It was not easy to go through, but dealing with a bunch of crickets and having to eat a cow's eyeball, considering what the world, not just us, but the world is going through right now, seems like nothing. So it was a great experience to go through. The best part, I met some great friends like yourself. We just have to get through this thing right now. I was just watching your news stuff before we came on. And to be honest with you, you guys are saying the exact same thing we're saying here in the US about opening up, about closing, about this, that. There's just so much uncertainty in the world. I love working. I love being out there and doing things and not having the opportunity to do that. And so many other people not having the opportunity to do that. It's tough on everybody.
It is. One of the benefits that some people are saying certainly is being able to spend more time with our families, though, because we're all on top of each other. My boys haven't been going to school and have been around about. Have you been able to spend a lot of time with the family? Because I know how close you all are as a family.
Yes, that has been good. I have a lot of grandchildren, 18 of them. I would like to see more of them, but still, at least you have the opportunity to do this. The golf game is very good right now.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time on the golf course. My house has never been cleaner. My property has never been in better shape because that's what I do. My road that goes up. I'm very good at keeping myself busy. And so that's been good. And I just like working. I like doing things.
That's what sort of inspires you. One of the things that I've seen you talk about is the fact that you've spoken to Kanye, suggesting that you'd quite like to be on his ticket. You could be his VP in his bid to become president. I mean, obviously we've
You'd be great.
You would be great. We've seen some of the footage and some of the press conference that you held and the Twitter spat.
Yeah.
How is he doing, Caitlyn? Is he getting some support and some help? Because it feels like, you know, he's having a bit of a tough time.
Well, honestly, I don't know. Since all of this has come down, I have just kind of watched it just like everybody else. I haven't really had a chance. He's living up in Wyoming most of the time. And so I just wish him the best. You know, I made that as a joke about being his VP when he announced that. And but, you know, I hope for the best for him. He's a really good guy. The only thing I really can talk about is really how he has treated me through everything. And he has been the most kind, loving human being, and so good to me throughout the years. And especially going through everything I've been through in the last 5 years. He's been such a good friend. And that to me is by far the most important thing.
Is he very supportive of you?
Oh, extremely supportive. Yeah, he's extremely supportive. Kanye's got a great heart. He really does. He's a good person, got a big heart. You know, he deals like everybody deals with things in their lives. He's dealing with those things, but he's a good person, a really good person.
Would he make a good president, though, Caitlyn?
I can't even go there. I can't see it. I can't go there. You know, we're living in such a political environment today that, you know, we have an election coming up in November. It kind of drives you. It's like, I don't even want to discuss or talk about politics anymore. I'm just kind of over it. Let's just, you know, move forward.
What about the feeling of how America has handled the crisis? You've had some terrifying figures of loss of life from those that have been affected. Of course, we've had problems here. Have you felt safe? Do you think the government there getting it right? Have you got concerns?
That's actually an excellent question. I'm the eternal optimist. I can handle anything, you know. And so I haven't had fears for myself. The mask thing kind of drove me crazy for the longest time. Now I wear it if I'm, you know, at a public place or going into Starbucks, because I don't want them to close the damn Starbucks again if I try to get in without a mask. You know, I want the coffee shop to stay open. And it's just, yeah, it's difficult for everybody. It's difficult for everybody. You want to do the best. You certainly don't want to transmit the disease. And I've been tested a couple of times and always tested negative, just because of things I had to do. It's a different world. You know, I had an eye appointment to get my eyes examined, and you know, you go in and they get masks for you. They're taking temperatures. They're doing all these types of things, and those are unfortunately just the things we have to do right now, and hope for the best. So, yeah, it's a different world. I want to get back to the old world.
Yeah, I think we're all desperate to get there. There was, I think, at times it seemed from over here quite a lot of resistance to precautions and the new protocols that were being put into place in the States. Lots of people sort of saying, no, we want to be able to keep going about our business. We saw, you know, Donald Trump seems to have swung dramatically from one side to the other with regards to that. Do you think with the surges that are happening now in California now where you are, people are more receptive to the idea of stricter lockdown and actually taking this thing really seriously? Because if we don't, we're never going to get back to that old world, as you say.
Yeah, I'm hoping we do get back to there. The sooner the better. Yeah, I think a lot of it right now here in the U.S., a lot of it is political. We have an election coming up. It seems like everything right now is politics, 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 politics. And so I'm hoping for, you know, they're working on a vaccine. It looks promising. They've done this fast track thing to get it through as quickly as possible. That's what we need next. We need to be able to have a vaccine to be able to fight this thing. And eventually we will. And eventually we'll win it. But it's we just don't know when. And that's tough for a lot of people. It's tough for me because I just want to get back to doing things, you know, get back to the old life.
Absolutely. Yeah, not knowing is the hardest, isn't it? And we've been through that. You knew Derek, you met Derek as well, and you still don't know really what the situation is for him in the future. So it's difficult, because I would say to anyone, you don't want to get this because you just don't know how it's going to affect you.
Yeah.
We're looking at pictures of him now, actually, you probably can't see it, but that was just after when we were on our way to the party, after the last day of the jungle. What's next for you then? You can't work now because the things that you would be doing aren't happening. What is your focus right now? I know you've been doing a lot of campaigning for communities that you feel have had it really tough during the lockdown there.
Yeah, actually, when you're in a situation, like we all are in right now, your mind starts going, okay, what can I do? I'm just in the process of looking into starting my own YouTube channel, where I can put content on there of things that I do in life and all of the things. I do so many different things, and use it as a platform just to do something, who knows where it would ever go, but just to do something, where I can, talk about life, about trans issues, about all the things that I do. Race cars, I fly airplanes, I do this, I do that. My life is, I've got a lot of interesting things. And so I thought, I watch a lot of aviation videos and stuff like that. And I thought, why don't you do something like that? So I think in a situation like this, a lot of people are kind of reevaluating how they do business, and the things that they want to do in their life that they can kind of take control of. So I was thinking, so anyway, I've talked to some people. Maybe in the future here, I'll be doing something like that, just for fun, and see where it goes.
Because you never know, do you?
You have to do your own thing.
Yeah, quite, and staying stimulated.
Yeah.
Caitlyn, it's lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us. You're the first person that I've met that Kate's interviewed that she showered with as well, so that's a first for me.
And
we did more than that. We slept together.
We did sleep together. It was a lovely thing to wake up in the morning and go, morning, Caitlyn.
Good morning.
I miss it.
Yes,
I miss it.
It's always great to see you. I talked to James a little bit and Jacqueline and them, and it's always, we had such a bond of everybody when we were in the jungle. It was a lot of fun. It's so good to hear your voice again.
Oh, it's lovely to chat to you.
Nothing bonds a person like having to eat a kangaroo testicle, does it? That's the point.
Bonds you forever.
Caitlyn, thank you so much for joining us.
And best of luck to your family.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed, darling. Take care. Thanks.